200 Americans die every single day from fentanyl overdoses. The organization responsible for the majority of that supply has tens of thousands of members, operating in over 50 countries, earns up to $12 billion a year, and has survived the arrest of every single leader who has ever run it. This is the Sinaloa Cartel. And today I'm going to walk you through every level of this organization, from the 14-year-old lookout standing on a dirt road to the billionaire ghost hiding in the mountains. But here's what makes this different from anything you've seen about cartels. By level 6, you'll understand why no government on Earth has been able to stop them. And by level 10, you'll see why they never will. Level 1, the lookout. You're 14 years old, standing on a dirt road outside Culiacan. You dropped out of school because your family couldn't afford the bus fare. A man pulls up in a truck that costs more than your house. He offers you a phone and 2,000 pesos a week, $105, 3 times what a factory worker makes. Your job is simple. When you see police or military vehicles, you make one call. You are now a halcon, a hawk, the lowest rung of the most powerful drug trafficking organization in the Western Hemisphere. You sit on that corner 10 hours a day. You memorize every car. You learn which police officers have been paid and which ones haven't. The paid ones speed up. The real ones move quiet. You never miss a call. Because the kid who had this corner before you isn't around anymore. And nobody talks about why. Level 2, the soldier. 6 months in, you're promoted. Not because you're talented, because you're alive and you haven't talked. That's the entire job interview. They hand you an AK-47. They call it a cuerno de chivo, a goat horn, because of the curved magazine. Training lasts 45 minutes. You join a cell of 8 men in a safe house. You eat together, sleep in shifts, wait for orders on disposable phones. You carry backpacks of cash to addresses you forget immediately. Then you carry product, bricks of meth, bundles of fentanyl pills pressed to look like prescription oxycodone. Each brick is worth more than your father will earn in his lifetime. You hold it in your hands and you don't think about what it does when it reaches the other side. Thinking is a luxury for people who have options. Level 3, the sicario. Your first assignment comes at night. A rival dealer is selling on your plaza boss's territory. They hand you a pistol, an address, and a photograph. You drive with 2 men. Nobody speaks. What happens inside takes 11 seconds. You leave at the speed limit. You eat, you shower, you try to sleep. One former sicario put it this way: being in a shootout is pure adrenaline, but you see dead bodies and you feel nothing. Some days there are 10 executions, other days 30. It is just normal now. Your salary jumps. You get respect on the street. Kids on corners look at you the way you looked at the man in the truck. But here's what nobody tells you. The average life expectancy of an active sicario is measured in months. You're a tool, and tools get replaced. But the people you're about to meet at levels 5 and 6, they're the ones who are truly irreplaceable. And when you understand what they do, you'll understand why this organization is essentially impossible to destroy. Level 4, the plaza boss. You survived 5 years. Most of the men you started with are dead or in prison. You're given a plaza, a territory. Everything that moves through it is your responsibility. Every gram, every dollar, every cop. You manage 50 people, lookouts, drivers, cooks, money counters. You manage law enforcement too. Some you pay monthly, some you pay per favor. The most useful ones you compromise so completely they can never turn against you because they're already guilty. Instructions are never written. Everything is communicated orally, often only implied, but ruthlessly enforced. Your income hits hundreds of thousands. You buy a house for your mother. You buy loyalty, which is the most expensive commodity in this business. But everyone wants what you have. Rivals, your own men, the military. If your plaza underperforms, you don't get a warning. You get replaced. And replacement at this level doesn't mean reassignment. Level 5, The cook. Not everyone in the cartel carries a gun. Some carry chemistry. You run a clandestine lab outside Culiacan. Inside, there are industrial mixers, pill presses, and drums of precursor chemicals shipped from China through the port of Lázaro Cárdenas. Your lab produces thousands of fentanyl pills per hour, each one pressed to look like legitimate oxycodone, but containing anywhere from 0.5 milligram to 5 milligrams of pure fentanyl. 2 milligrams can kill a person. The measurements aren't careful. One journalist who accessed the Sinaloa lab described cooks sipping beer while eyeballing doses over large metal cookware. The cost of production is almost nothing. Fentanyl is entirely synthetic. No farmland, no growing season, just chemistry and Chinese precursors. It's the most profitable drug operation in history. Your lab gets raided eventually. They always do. But by then 2 more are running. You are replaceable. The formula is not. Level 6. The tunnel engineer. This is where most people's understanding of cartels completely breaks down. You're not a criminal. You're an engineer from Durango, a mining region where people have been digging underground for generations. The tunnel you're building runs from Tijuana to a warehouse in California, 35 feet deep, 6 football fields long, electric lighting, forced ventilation, a rail system for moving product. Since 2008, authorities have found over 75 cartel tunnels along the border and 150 more under construction. But your masterpiece was the one nobody was supposed to find. A mile-long tunnel from a half-built house to the shower inside El Chapo's cell at a maximum security prison, 33 feet underground, with tracks and a modified motorcycle. A smartwatch smuggled into the prison provided GPS coordinates to connect the tunnel to his exact cell. It cost $5 million to build, $2 million more in bribes. When El Chapo stepped into that shower in July 2015 and vanished, the world was shocked. You weren't. You built it. The tunnel engineers are worth millions to the cartel, but the person at level 7 is worth billions. Because without them, the entire empire drowns in its own cash. Level 7. The money man. The cartel earns billions. Earning it is easy. Cleaning it is the real operation. You run cash through shell companies in Panama and the Caymans. You buy real estate in Los Angeles through intermediaries. You work with Chinese underground banking networks, where the cartel delivers cash to a broker in LA. The broker sends pesos to Mexico through informal channels, and no wire transfer crosses any border. No bank is involved. The money changes hands in 2 countries simultaneously. You wear suits. You eat where senators eat. You never touch product. You never touch weapons. You are the most dangerous person in this entire organization, because without you, billions in profit become billions in useless paper. Level 8. The lieutenant. You manage regions. Multiple states, multiple operations running simultaneously. Drugs north, money south, precursors from Chinese ports, weapons from American gun shops. You coordinate with Colombian cocaine suppliers, Chinese chemical brokers, Central American transportation networks, and American street gangs handling last-mile distribution. In Chicago alone, the cartel moves 2 metric tons a month. But your real job is managing the Mexican state. Because at this level, the government isn't the enemy. It's a business partner. Bribes flow to police, military, prosecutors, judges, politicians. The cartel doesn't operate despite the state. It operates through the state. You are invisible. No photographs, no indictments, no wanted lists. At this level, invisibility is worth more than money or firepower. Level 9. The inner circle. 12 people, maybe fewer. You discuss strategy, not tactics. Which drugs to produce, which markets to enter, which rivals to absorb. The Sinaloa cartel operates as a federation, not a hierarchy. Semi-autonomous networks connected by blood ties and decades of alliance. This is why it's nearly indestructible. Arrest the leader, and the network survives. Kill a lieutenant, and another fills the gap within days. In February 2025, Both the Sinaloa and Jalisco cartels were designated foreign terrorist organizations by the United States. The cartel has survived El Chapo's extradition, El Mayo's capture in 2024, and a brutal internal war between factions that has raged since September 2024. Each time, the network fractures, reforms, and continues. Because the product is in demand and the profits are in billions. You don't need to win. You just need to not lose. Level 10. The Ghost. Joaquin Guzman was born in 1957 in a village where his father beat him and grew opium. No education, no future. By 15, he was growing marijuana. By 31, he had founded the Sinaloa cartel. He pioneered tunnels, submarines, cargo aircraft. He escaped prison twice. He was named Public Enemy #1 in Chicago, the first since Al Capone. He's now serving life at ADX Florence, the most secure prison in America. His co-founder, El Mayo, ran the cartel quietly for decades before his capture in 2024. Both are gone now. It changed nothing. The fentanyl still flows. The Chapitos run their faction. The tunnels are still being dug. The precursors still arrive from China. The lookouts still stand on corners in Culiacan. Somewhere right now, on a dirt road in the mountains of Sinaloa, a man in an expensive truck is pulling up next to a boy with no shoes and no future. He's offering a phone and 2,000 pesos a week. The boy doesn't know he's joining an organization responsible for more deaths than most wars. He doesn't know his life expectancy just dropped to months. He doesn't know any of that. The cycle continues.